A first-of-its-kind national surfing reserve is being proposed for Taranaki, stretching along Surf Highway 45 from Cape Egmont to Okato. Surf spots in the reserve will be protected from any development that damages surfing conditions. Our Taranaki reporter Robin Martin has more.
The nationally significant surfing area is proposed in the Regional Council's draft coastal plan and includes about 20 surf breaks, 3 of which are already nationally recognised. Oceanographer Peter McComb pitched the idea of a reserve after being contracted by the council to study what makes the region's most famous surf breaks tick.
Particularly around the Okato region, there is these historical features that have formed from the previous volcanic eruptions, and they're like fingers of Laha reef that extend out into the ocean. And so what they do is they concentrate the wave energy into the break points, and that's the key reason why we get so many good breaks in that area.
Mr McComb says surfers are spoilt for choice in Taranaki.
It's a pretty special place because we've got such a high concentration of waves along one stretch of coastline. So that makes it, like when you're driving down the coast thinking about having a surf, you're not really focused on one particular break. Often you're having this conversation with your mates about, well, which one should we go to? And that's pretty special. There's not many parts of the world where you have that kind of selection.
Craig Williamson is Surfing Taranaki Chief Executive and a regional councillor. He says the reserve will offer an elevated level of protection to that already enjoyed by Taranaki's 80 regionally significant surf breaks.
If a developer wants to put a wind farm out to sea or a mussel farm or something like that, then they will have to consider under law what effect that might have on the surf break, and as far as this protection goes, it will not be able to have any adverse effect.
Mr Williamson says it's important the stretch of quality waves is protected for future generations.
We don't want development to destroy any of them. It has happened here in Taranaki in the past, it happens in other parts of New Zealand, other parts of the world. You know, development happens, surf breaks aren't considered or they aren't valued enough, and therefore this quality of the surf breaks become eroded.
Alan Pidwell is the Surf Break Protection Society's Taranaki representative. He reckons the reserve is a significant move.
For quite a few years there's been a movement around the world to create international surfing reserves, but at the moment the laws in New Zealand don't quite meet the grounds for international surfing reserves, so this is a big step.
Mr Pidwell's only reservation is breaks where novice surfers get their start haven't been included.
They have just the same amenity values as the top breaks for the good surfers. You've got to have somewhere for the kids to learn, and also there's values that you put on breaks such as World Road, which is one of the few that work in a southwesterly, and it's a good break for the more mature surfers, shall we say.
Down at the beach, the idea of a reserve proved popular with surfers.
For our kids, it's probably a good idea to draw a line in the sand.
Yeah, I think it's a pretty good idea. Most surfers around here would support protecting the breaks.
I haven't got any real objections to it, as long as it's inclusive.
Yeah, I think it would be pretty cool.
I think it's a good idea if it can stop the likelihood of seabed mining.
I think it's really good, especially for this part of New Zealand.
The opportunity to give feedback on the draft coastal plan closes in November, and the formal consultation period begins next year. For Checkpoint, ko Robin Martin Tēnei.